Hey guys, we are back with another raid video, breaking raid down. I want to try to keep this as short as possible. I just recorded this. It ended up being 40 minutes long. I don't want to make that mistake again. I want to keep this about 20 minutes. Today's going to be a general video, so let's just kind of get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is Clan Boss. Now the whole point of doing Clan Boss here is to be getting chest rewards. Ultimately, you want to be on the hardest difficulty, getting the highest chest, because this is where you're going to get sacreds. It's where you're going to get legendary books. You also get 5 rewards. I actually think it's more than 5. I feel like it's 10. But you get more rewards here compared to doing these ones down here. You only get 2. So what you want to be doing, even on Nightmare, I'd rather you do Nightmare getting last chest, because again, you get sacreds, you get legendary books, compared to even if you're helping out on Ultra Nightmare and you only top out at Celestial chests, you don't get legendary books, you don't get sacred shards. So ultimately what you want to be doing is figuring out, can you 4-key Brutal? If you can't 4-key Brutal, then you should be trying hard. Do what you can do. Prioritize your own progress over trying to help out the clan. I know sometimes when you open up the app on the phone or even on the computer, it just defaults. Like it might start up here, but it's actually clicked down here, and you just hit battle. Please double check that you are fighting an appropriate boss. Not to call anybody out, but if we look at here, 2 keys gets him about 16 million. That's not even enough to get chest here. And the whole point is we want you to be getting rewards. We have this person here. He's got 13 million on 1 key on easy, and it only requires 1 million. He can move up. He's put in 2 keys. 1 key for him is probably about 3.6 million, 3.7 million. He's got more than that here. So we really want to make sure we're going after an appropriate difficulty boss to be getting the appropriate rewards that we can get. See this person here, he did put 1 on easy and 1 on normal. But even at 7.3, he's more than double his chest here. So he should probably be on hard. This person should definitely be on hard at least, if not on brutal. See these guys here. This person has 2 keys at 20 million, and the chest is 21 million. So he can either 3-key this, or figure out a way to improve their damage here, and they can 2-key it, and then maybe spend the other 2 keys on hard. So definitely prioritize yourself and really look at what you're doing. Please check on the chests and the damage, what you are getting. A lot of you, honestly, I don't think anyone should be going for easy, probably, in our clan anymore. 1 million, that's nothing. And if you want to see the damage requirement, or not the damage, the stat requirements for going after each difficulty, here they are. I know I'm always telling people, get 190 speed and about 225 accuracy. If you're going for the clan boss, the Ultimate Nightmare, you need 250. But the reason I tell you 225 is because 225 is good enough for all the level 20 dungeons. So even if you are at Nightmare, 170 speed is more than enough for the level 20 dungeons, but 175 accuracy is not. So use this as a guide to figure out where you are at. If you are good enough to fight Ultimate Nightmare, you are probably good enough to be doing level 20 dungeons, and vice versa. If you're doing level 20 dungeons, you're probably on your way to be doing Ultimate Nightmare. That also requires a good team and all of that. So just use this as a loose guide. If you want to look at this really quick, here's the different Doom Towers: the normal 1, normal 2, normal 3, and here's all your hard dungeons. Here's everything you need. You can also look this up for yourself on Hell Hades Stages tool. Oops. And you can just type in any dungeon, any encounter you want, anywhere. So please do that. Also, Hydra. So you can see I have one really good team that can put out a lot of damage. My other 2 teams, not so much. I mean, I can get 7 million with my other 2 teams combined. That's not even good enough to get the second best chest. I'm just doing this for me as a personal thing to get more chests, more rewards. But you can see here, you put 3 keys in to get 1 million. You're not even getting a chest here. So this is, please make sure. I don't think anyone in the clan should be going after hard. If I'm not even getting top chest in hard, barely even getting the second chest here, 6.8, and I've got 7. Please go after normal. I can solo normal by myself. You can start getting, for this you only need 6 million. I think some of you are getting pretty close. Even if you can't, you can get 1.6. If you can get that, you can be on your way to getting the Mithralda shards. She's not here because I already have her. But you can start getting the Mithralda shards, and that's super important because she's such a really good champ. And also you can start getting 5-6-star gear, more clan gold, which is good because clan gold can get you more energy. Sometimes this can be 3-star chickens. It can be energy. You can get yourself silver. I know there's champs that are, I forget which champs are in here, but you can get those champs too. I don't care about Arbiter's skin. I don't care about accessories. I just spend it on silver, energy, and 3-star chickens. Let me just show you how many 3-star chickens I have really quick. I have 67, and that's basically the reason why. Now the next thing to talk about, we did clan chests. Poisons. Use clan poisons. Use poisons on the clan boss. I know basically everyone has. Ninja. Ninja's a really good champ to use. See, Ninja. He's everywhere. He places HP burn. He has a skill that lets him ignore boss defense, but you can only place 1 HP burn at a time. And if you didn't know, you can actually place 10 debuffs on an enemy at once. So theoretically, you could have 1 HP burn, a poison sensitivity, through someone like Frozen Banshee. So HP burn, poison sensitivity, and let's say 8 poisons. And the reason poisons are good is because it will do 10% of the enemy's HP value as damage. So we aren't picking early on. We aren't picking Kale for his damage. We're picking him for his poisons. Here he has a 40% chance to place a poison, but on this one he has an 80 plus 10 plus 10, so 100% chance of placing a poison. So that's why we're picking poisons. Is poisons do a lot of damage. For those of you who have Cold Heart, she has a skill that does enemy max HP. That's basically what a poison is. But the difference being that poisons activate when the clan boss takes a turn. And then also, obviously, back here, we want to make sure that we are going at least as fast as the clan boss because for those of you who do know, or don't know, I guess I should say, every 10 turns the clan boss takes, he does more damage. So if he is lapping you, your run is going to end very early. So you want to make sure at least going as fast. And then another good thing to have, I know some of you have Ornn. He has a chance of activating a poison. So that means if you're going faster than him, you're activating these before he even gets a chance to go, the clan boss, that is. So activating, that's a good thing to pick. Other effects, we want negative effects. Activate HP burn. Again, this is why Ninja is so good. Activate poisons. This is why Ornn is so good. He's going to place poisons. He's going to have a poison sensitivity somewhere. Poison sensitivity. And he activates them. So early on, I always recommended Outlaw Monk to everyone. He was someone you can buy in the shop. That's because he places poisons. He places 2 with this one skill. And he doesn't even have a skill check. And what I mean by that is this. So let's go over how debuffs work. So the first thing when we do a debuff, I know I'm kind of rambling all over the place, but I'm trying to be quick. So the first thing it does is it checks the percentage base of the skill, the percent it has to land. So here it's completely skipping that part. But if we go to someone like Theodore, he has a 75% base chance. I mean, I've upgraded him to where this is now 100, and that's why this is so important, because you want it to be at 100 if you can. But it's going to do that dice roll. If it's 75, or really if it's less than 100, it's doing a dice roll to see whether or not your skill is going to land. If it does land, if you're at 100, you just completely skip it, and you go on to your accuracy versus resist battle. So your accuracy versus the enemy's resist. And you can see here on him, his resist is, or his accuracy rather, is 375. Just because the further we go in Doom Tower, especially once you get to hard, their resist gets to be really, really high. So, and I use him. He's really good for Doom Tower hard. I want his accuracy to be really, really high because I want him overcoming all of their resist. So, so yeah, we have the skill check, then we have the stat check. If you are under their resist, again, it goes to a dice roll. And so if you want to consistently be doing, landing your debuffs, having consistent dungeon runs, consistent clan boss runs, you want to make sure you are at least meeting their accuracy. I was helping someone in the clan. Their accuracy wasn't meeting the requirements, but they were still able to completely overpower the boss. And I was kind of trying to figure that out. And that's why. It's because it's not that your accuracy needs to be over the resist and it won't land. It's just that if it's under, you have that dice roll. So this is how you get more consistent runs. Like that person would, the variation of their runs was like 5, 6, maybe even 10 million damage. So in order to have a consistent run, make sure your accuracy is over the resist. And last but not least, there's always a 3% chance to resist anything by anyone in the game. It just can't be overcome. So the next thing I want to talk about is shard chances. I see people, they say like, oh, I pulled 20 ancient shards and I didn't get anything. And not just here, but like on Reddit. 20 ancient shards in the grand scheme of things is not a lot. Recently we had a ×2 event where your chances to get legendary and epic champs were doubled. That sounds great. Oh, I have double the chance. But really what that meant is it went from 5 or 0.5% to 1%. So meaning even with the boosted odds, you'd have to pull 100, if it's at 1%, 100 shards, and you could expect one legendary. But that's how odds and probability works. It's not how actual statistics work. Because you could theoretically pull 200 shards and actually not get a legendary at all. That's why we have the mercy system. So if it's at 1%, you'd have to pull 100 to expect one. At 0.5%, you'd have to pull 200, and we know that because it tells us here. Ancient legendary, 200 shards without a legendary is when mercy kicks in. After that, every shard you pull is an extra 5% chance of getting a legendary. So technically, at 220 pulls, you're at full mercy, and on 221 is when you can finally expect your legendary. So just think about that. 221 pulls before you get a legendary. That's why 20, even 50 shards in the grand scheme of things is not a lot. It's even worse when we talk about the progressive system, because the way the progressive system works, the way pulling works is every time you pull, it does that roll. It's rolling to figure out what you're going to get. 91% of the time you're getting a rare. So when we talk about the progressive champ events where you pick your guy and it tells you, oh, you have a ×10 chance to get this guy, what it really means is when you pull a legendary, because it's rolling for rarity and then it rolls for champ afterwards. So if you have that ×10, ×15, ×25% chance, it's after you do this. So theoretically, you'd have to pull 221, 442, 663 champs, or 663 ancients before you are fully at the ×25, maxed out progressive chance. And even then, it's just a ×25% chance of getting the guy you want. So progressive chances are scams. I'm always telling you that. The only time it's not a scam is if you have a lot of sacred shards and there's a specific epic that you want to get. You can see here on the board, this is the highest % chance to get anything. It's higher than even getting a mystery from a common. So it's the only time it's not a complete and total scam. So please be aware of that. And as far as hoard, so that's why we want to hoard, because do you want to spend 200 shards on possibly getting a legendary, or do you want to save it for when there's like pull 60 and get a guaranteed champ? So I pull my stuff. You can see I have nothing. I pull my stuff because I can easily replenish my sacred shards again because of my clan bosses stuff. Another thing I want to get into really quick is, so we have a monthly. So if we're doing our dailies eventually lead into doing our weeklies, and our weeklies eventually lead into doing our monthlies. We have 500 campaign battles we have to do. So if we are only doing 3 campaign bosses, or I think it's 7 campaign battles a day, this one does flip between the two, we aren't going to be meeting the required 500 battles in a month. You actually need to do 17 campaign battles a day to make sure you are caught up on this. Because if you don't, there's going to come a time at the end of the month where you've done all of your dailies every day, all of your weeklies, and you still have like 300 campaign battles that you need to do. And that's you're going to be spending a lot of energy doing that, just trying to catch up to get your 1 monthly sacred shard. So please make sure you're doing, I'll show you that actually, and this is why. Because if you have 500 campaign battles, and they're on average 30 days in a month, it's 16. You can't do 16.6 battles, so you have to do 17 campaign battles a day. So make sure you're doing that. It's going to help you get your free monthly sacred. The next thing I want to talk about really quick is the forge. So if we notice here, the requirements for building this artifact in the forge requires this gem here, and this one requires these same 2 pieces, but it requires this little prism here. Well, that's the same thing that these 2 require. Perception and resilience. It requires these gems. So if you were building swift parry and deflection, you're actually taking away materials from building resilience and perception. And I personally like these 2 sets better because they are 2 pieces. Perception, I use perception on 90% of my builds. It's a really good way to round out your builds. Whereas these 4 pieces, like the 4 pieces define your build. And I just don't think that these 2 pieces are good enough. Like, I can get 18% speed from other pieces. I can get 30% crit damage from other pieces. So the main thing about this build would be the 50% chance of unkillable. I just don't think that's very good. Not when I could have, like, Relentless, or I could have Slayer, or Cruel, or Immortal, or something else. So I would rather have those pieces than this. So basically what I'm trying to say is build out resilience and perception over deflection and swift parry. The next thing we'll talk about is, let's go to one I have a lot of. We have the Defiant Pass right now. That's not actually a good example. So Fatal. So if we notice here, we have like the 2 pieces on this build, 1539. That's the same thing here. So if I were building out these 4 and 5 piece artifacts from this one, I'm actually taking these pieces away from being able to build it here. So because I have access to the 5 and 6 star builds, I'm going to be building out the 5 and 6 star builds. But a lot of you aren't going to have access to these. And if you don't build the 4 and 5, and you might think, well, duh, that's obvious. But the thing is, I'm going to build the 5 and 6 stars, and then once I'm out of these, I'm going to come over here, I'm going to build the 3 and 4 stars, because you can see here's the 1 I have 94 of, 1 at 94. So it's kind of like you can do one, or you can do the other. So again, if you're doing the 5 and 6 star builds, do them, and then do the 3 and 4 star builds. And all you're doing is selling your pieces for money. Like, I'm going to take this, I'm just going to sell it, no problem. But if all you have access to is the 4 and 5 stars, only do the 4 and 5 stars. Do not do the 3 and 4 stars, because again, you're taking away your resources from being able to build it out. And you can kind of tell where you're at, because those pieces actually come from Faction Wars. You get them here. I can get 3 and 6 stars. I can get 4 and 6 stars. 4 and 6 stars. If you're doing 18 and above, and you can get the access to the 6 stars, that's how you know that you can do the 6 stars. When it comes to, that's mainly here. This is where you get these artifacts. Is from Faction Wars. Everything else from here down comes from Doom Tower. This is like the Nether Spider. This is the Scarab King. I think this might be the Brimstone Dragon, and then the rest of these are like Forge builds or Forge Pass things. Like, I know Defiant is this little lamb sheep thingy. So, so for Defiant, I'd actually just build out these. I'm not even sure where you get these from. Maybe for the Forge Pass, build out your 4 and 5 stars, just period, because 5 and 6 stars are going to be only if you probably get the premium Forge Pass. So I hope we're clear on that. I know it's kind of convoluted, but I hope we're clear. Really quick, I just want to go into, so we have this summon pool active. So you get them from Dungeon Divers. This is a lot of points, 6,000. So from the time it takes you to get from here to here is the same amount of time it takes you to get from here and here. It's a lot of energy. Dungeon Divers during the fusion events are always the worst events possible. So you're going to be spending a lot of energy just to get a 4.5% chance at a legendary. So basically what I'm saying is I personally wouldn't do it. I know we sometimes get these summon pool events. The really good ones are usually 60 prisms. Because I know you can get 2 pulls here for 20 bucks. I know some of you would be like, oh, that's not a big deal. I have 20 bucks lying around. I have a gift card. I have whatever. 2 pulls, but again, you're giving yourself a total from those 2 pulls 9% chance of getting a legendary. This epic pool it's okay. Stag Knight's really good. Ugo is really good. You need this person for the Lady Mickage fusion. But most of these are, I'm not going for it, basically, if that tells you anything. What else? I think that's most of it. I think I powered through it this time. Hoarding, because of your guaranteed, your shard chances, how accuracy. I think I covered everything I really wanted to. Last thing is, please do live arena. You don't lose anything by doing it. You don't lose anything from losing. I know it's frustrating going up against level 100 counts with all of their fusion champs and everything, but you do not lose anything by losing these battles. In fact, you only have stuff to gain. You can get these fragments for this champ. I checked him out. He's a 5-star arena champ. He's really good for that. You can get a void. You can eventually get legendary books, a sacred shard. But the big thing here is the area bonuses. For doing arena, we get the affinity bonuses here, but this is where we get area bonuses. So if you want extra help in accuracy, speed, crit damage, or even ignore defense, this is actually really huge. Ignore defense, without it being a skill and without it being on your artifact, to eventually get up to 20% ignore defense, that's actually crazy. So you get 5 free tokens a day, do your 5 battles, get your refill, do another 5 battles. If you lose 3 times in a row, you get a guaranteed bot that you should be able to get a win against. So out of 10 battles, you should be getting at least 2 wins, if not 3. I know it's a slog, I know it's a grind, but you don't lose anything. I'm going to drop out just because I haven't done it. I don't have a whole lot of time recently to do a live arena. But it's not the same, whereas if you lose a bunch of classic arena battles, you drop down to silver, you drop down to bronze. Please do it if you have the time. If you're playing while live arena is active, please give it a chance. I think that's most of what I wanted to cover today. Yeah, you can see here I have 52 of these shards. I'm hoarding this. I'm waiting for I think it's actually going to be tomorrow. So if I pull them right now, my best chance is going to be getting 1 stars, and I think tomorrow 5 and 6 stars are going to be boosted. So I'm really just trying to give myself the best chance possible to get the best things possible. So that's why we hoard. I know eventually I'm going to pull a lot of these. I'm going to be getting a lot of these little coins, turning these coins into the Immortal Soulstone, and because that makes a big difference. Just really quick, like if we have 6-star Crushing Rend, every hit will ignore a percentage compared to 5-star, where it's the first 2 hits of every round. If I'm doing a clan boss run with her, the first 2 runs only out of a 30-minute long battle, or however long your runs might end up being, that's a big difference from 5 to 6 compared to even 1 to 5. If we look at Theodore, who has Brimstone, which I know a lot of you use. Oops, I don't want to change it. I just want to look at it. So I know a lot of you probably only have 1 star, and you're kind of just you're going in there with a 50% chance of hoping that it lands and getting a big damage. But I'm at 6-star where every time it's going to be landing, as long as it's not on cooldown. So I really want to give myself the best chance possible to be getting the 5 and 6-star souls. But yeah, I really think that is all I needed to cover. I don't want this to run on too long. I think the next video will be about Hell Hades Optimizer for sure. So stay tuned for that. If you have anything else you want me to cover, let me know. Other than that, I will see you in the next one. Take care.